Adishima me adam asese munya betwe me koto nkra ya bai ya kase ebo ne to so dubra esese yedi nkomo na ne nkomodie no efa katahye ene proye ho aban bia ba ana party bia wo position a wo de okafa party wa aban mu we diska ba pai ba ka mampani dadaje kufu aban abreso sabre ne yete opepepepepepe yete ho nsɛmpa sɛ manfo diska wandi saban abreso wo bra na papa je wo ho no otwa mu koi mampani dadaje kufu obai ndc for sabre no so kan ene oga the chop money funya diska ne nyafu oga the chop am nyama na ndc koi MPP bo position ene behwe na mahama ne na ba mu fu dweske diska ba dweske diska sa MPP aba power and this for so ka mu dweska mu diska aya perception na say no kore strategy for so mu ye asen bi mu enhwehwe mu strategy ne Ghana Statistical Service for na eye sanhwe mu no mo kire say sisi katahye no proye no wo nka so mo no office nko a on be survey ewo efie makomako mpem ahenu ane adunum 250,000 households na omo de nhwem sanhwem no be ye no eno be gina so ede hu sa katahye ne proye no amafo adwene a wo mo wo ewo hu se eye perception yesusu se amafo ye anase eye no krankasa na de entie ne ye de ndc na MPP aba ne se wo mienu ene taka ho asem bishop komo twetwe asem kan se de mapenda da je kufo wo mkan pepepepepepe ndc oga de chopa funyafunya MPP saa be pim sabra ye wo wi ente ne ni nkomo fa sansem ne sanse ti da wo ma domensi kanyina manasa kaprempu ya metubi I mean, I don't know. Kofi Ameyao, Frederick. That can people communication team no. Kofi we call US Amman so a MPP come one more boa MPP ama yoko na no e America no. Odi mu akotene pa. Kofi akwaba.
Yenya, ejama feel.
Seja, odi. Why you me amana? Nko na udi bronya ni uye.
Bronya ni mendi bi o.
Ade.
Won say you know how you bronya. Omo de Thanksgiving.
Omo krokro no.
Aha, me ba after bronya no.
So wa ba kra na echi na.
Ansa na no mama ma wa fisha pa.
Ya.
Na afisese no, na nyame ayo kese pa kokroko pa.
Amen.
O ye adwuma nyame nshira.
Amen.
Na maka na me ma fisha pa no mama nsa ne nko eye MPP incoming chairman. Stephen Ayesu in team.
Stephen. Osho
pa. Me man official pa. Me chiano openi baby a obia MPP for say ne time aso. Na me chia me nyama ma me hye na chere ya pon oba yiri me din.
Ane da Muhammad mami.
Mami ma eye wahwefo.
Eja ko na.
Wahwefo so eye
That's good. O kama ama parem se ne ye host na da di mami na ma. Ati abrante timbe ku super so ye friend Godwin. Ayaba Mahama wono e ka this communication team no. Godwin bibia boko.
E ka bla bibia boko.
Di kwase.
Na asi afuwe ni na ye nhia ye. Ende na me hu me nua dika ma o afisha pade. Ame so me fa me de
entoaso.
Ensantoaso. Na ye ko ye nim ni ye mbom pass Nyankopon be ma ye nkwa. Na afini na no. Yate ase etimi aye edwuma pa aboa oman Ghana. Ba me mfa wo fidi kesuwe so na me nchi a me papa baako Mr. Nogbeji owo so Jaman Eastern Region. O se me kan cha Eastern Region phone na se ochiamo. Na Chairman Hakim o twefo Atimokwa Chairman 1 Chairman Majimi sit. Ono so me sure say oti enyumrewe me chia.
So Jaman I think the Pius Beji seat no.
Oh, and the Pius on to me now. Former Gapoa boss, what's the name cry?
National Lottery.
No, Gapoa boss, Mr. Your contest is Honorable Ampim. Yes. Yeah, Polansa current MBT Honorable Ampim. Visa scandal guy, no on to me. nto de yenko yenim
okay madam asemu achia na mo contest na mo wini ye to aba no mpoye no akabe 3 years ansa ni to aba so mo start contest wini that tells you the kind of politics we do in this country anyway Kofi Mamisha say free also you can corruption perception corruption do you see corruption in this country as perception who say you can katashane proye we discount we discount more NPP as a political party when you are in opposition or even in government the amoka for NDC for ho bro mo abemu ana so mu ni abemu no mo discount no eye bibia wo nyina so mo discount pa na moka ana say eye mo adwen ana amodibu
ebioma menchia hwefo nyina I think say topic we topic here pa especially wo mra ye wo mu yi na ye sha afiasi na se edin komo ye sha se I think say here is say ye ka corruption and catastrophe pro any kan no e ya dey ebo man and catastrophe ni pro any kan tino ubohu ebia ye fa bibi foreign direct investments broni infanisi kamba because all be ye be gina demudie fa we bra fa kakra even a local person or person or investing into any industry or some sort or any business no because of the processes involved corruption woman ubo no atiada rather no bo no din sika koto treasury bills and more especially we share mra ye woman because of COVID no global financial market no very crunchy unya sika woman no I think yes we share Auditor General's report through corruption and some more offenses and more practices and irregularities what your financial space in the muntino you realize say you really sika bebre boni bekan leakages so in times like this no we need to make sure say we talk about corruption because corruption is dimensional untimi restricted to politics and now politicians in kwa is say ademudie de oko institutions bebre you realize say but a question I will be saying is say a perception and I say nokure I believe strongly say to a very large extent no real because anywhere you say idea anyone anything because it's there no and I wo hunt no and a man for susu and a man for can one some say that notwithstanding and untina things say stretch any Ghana Statistical Service a government policy because I will share a budget statement paragraph 1095 1095 a statement or a policy of the government to ensure say we need to move a step further from corruption just being a perception ABA for example ABA eja enam say dey na wo chirechire mu ya in your introductory remarks no NDC for ba yo mu ye corrupt o mama ye corrupt o NDC for so the same thing no mu disan komo but enyina so ni ho say ye disan komo we nyina okwa abonten na obi say ebia say bi mama ye corrupter ana na Kufuor ye corrupt ana obi ye corrupter because ya kama na tintino it's easy for the person to run with it however with this new step announcing new approach aban boa strategy GSS for the abano it means say now we are moving to the people ye call 250,000 households individuals whom ni akobisa omo say corruption no is it real is it true experience be no wanya bi da with that information and data no we can come back and truly address and fight corruption in this country because say if empem bebre no atesem a ne kon no ebeye den that is why I would want all of us to commend government in spite of other measures or the bebre for example even the establishment of the office of the special prosecutor a step in the right direction to augment the existing institutions now kutia katasishene project for example the Physical Responsibility Act ensure say we don't spend too much we spend within certain budget no and also idea boa mebo NDC abaso financial Public Financial Management Act by 2016 MPP the buy we've implemented Financial Management Act ni mo you realize say enyoma pa wo mo aboa ama corruption aba from then you look at a system like Ghana.gov where your payments through that platform no ebia okotua o charges mo the Temaport for example personally me came just a couple of months ago me nyoma bia me dey buy or say me at the comfort of my home back in the US now, I was able to pay charges on the mammy, a special code, and then they will use your tax identification number. No, you go to Ghana.gov, you can use your Visa card or MasterCard, or you can use your Momo wallet. Now, dear Chia, so we know it me prevent interpersonal interaction or transaction. Now, it me market. So when you look at it largely, I think say government upon government, more especially the Nadu Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, you know, there have been a lot of measures put in place to fight corruption. However, in fact, say we share even civil society organizations, including even Christian, charismatic, I think Christian Council, that group recently issued a statement about e-levy. And even in that statement, they admitted say there have been some attempt to fight corruption. We share the famous Daniel Domelevo, June 18th, 2019, admitted, say when it comes to supporting and making sure, say, Auditor General's office no be ye juma, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, atimi abwa in that direction. And post a risk assessment of a Japan by Martin Amidua. In that analysis, no, or assessment, no, he admitted, said the establishment of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, no, is a very laudable step. And I can say on authority, without fear or favor, say, so we share a banner where we truly a police service. Our more agency be a team fighting corruption. I think say Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's administration. So clearly, no, I believe say, this is a conversation that needs to be had, and this is an attempt so that we can be able to reduce the waste and the leakages that is involved with corruption. At the end of the day, no, I'm not talking about just a politician. It's in everywhere. Civil servants, no, we deal with them all the time. Some of them are not politicians, but yet, so clearly, no, a national issue and a national topic. I believe that STRAJ being an institution, extremely independent, and then Ghana Statistical Service also extremely independent. They can come together, help us to fight this particular canker. And then they say UN Office of, I think, Crime and Drugs is also involved. So they are going to look at the framework and template, no, to also address the challenges. And I believe, say, in all that, no, regardless of your political affiliation, no, it's also a idea here, and I'm more also you too. Say the way to me address corruption issues. You should move away from perception to reality.
Kofi said, if you move away from perception to reality, all these years, you know, you bet me say, more makapa say, and this are buying. I'm a penada mama now or there or down. You can't cut a shiny proya. Woman disika papa. I'm a scan woman dear mamma buy, you know. And ya dear caprimpo, a war your foot more would be to me dear a boor man. Say, be saw one pam, so with this pam. As we speak, the paradox send you don't go to Janus and EBS and say, what disika? Minim, so what didn't make us a wedding? And to say, Unipano at the Adianampa. Now I can want some more opposition and what Bemu. Nothing Sabra or Bema when you're to me, I'll bet you do Nipanaco Janas and Ibiano. Said you can who when in opposition, you who is our Bemua. Do we have to believe in someone more can win the opposition?
I think that to a very large extent, yes, especially in the case of Omampeni John Dramani Mahama. I mean, it is a fact, say, Okoje fought from Kanazui. To the extent that airstrike crime indicted, it's a fact. It's also a fact, say, a court in the US, in the UK, and France. And then the fact pointed to the fact, say, Omampeni Emia was involved in that. It's also a fact, say, Jida at that time. We spent over 1 billion Ghana cedis for absolutely no work done. And until Asipit and Abuga Pele at the prison. That happened in the era of John Dramani Mahama. It's also a fact, say, bars rebranding. In fact, the minister admitted, said they spent too much on it. So, the way now, I think, say, Nasi Yakasi, John Dramani Mahama, it's true. And then when we came to government no me no ka say okọ National Communications Authority, the previous administration, enipa miensa have been in prison. Ye de oma kwasem DBA, di oma sem ebu omo for se bi omo dia demudi anakata session pro any can be cause, and they are in prison. There have been instances, Capital Venture, where they admitted said they were wrong, and to verify this cannot amaye. And there we are talking about other atofors and more diano. And then in recent times, there have been individuals, and the Storms and some others are in court. Maslock, so our former CEO are not under the NDC, or also our court. So I can go on and on and on. What we need to admit and say, these are processes, legitimate processes, legal processes, judicial processes. Sometimes, Obibe to me, I boneno, but the evidence available will not support it. But I am saying that in the midst of the punitive measures now we put in place, for that matter, some people have been arrested, some people are in court. Even in recent times, the former deputy minister, finance minister, deputy finance minister, Atoforsen, Mino Kasi, or court, for ambulances, it wasn't fit for purpose. So I think so when it comes to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's administration, talking about retooling institutions, revamping institutions, establishing institutions to augment existing ones, and making sure say the policies and programs will be in place to fight corruption. Things largely that does not mean say it's enough.
Okay.
More needs to be done.
Okay.
Moving forward.
That's it. Na Michelle na Malcolm said the beya. We are na fear so I see chimun kakra. Wondering. Also the same question I me posed to and one I made my mouth also. Say more position mo kasa papa na mo ba mu so a dia mo ye nso enko waka sama ho do bebre afabra mo aba mu ne ma ho do bia mo ye ya yesusu se enhye da entwa yi anuti ye de mo court ye de binum court na se ye ka se o mo ka se mo bribe mo je akata hye mo adamudi ani sane metete sa mo aba mu no bibi sa ko so mo aba beti na chire aba we nso de awo ye no wo hunu se nemme bi hye da nko ye wa ban ni mu a so beti ogina so na ka se kata hye no prayer no enye mere perception na mu na ade a mo so beti mese bo aka se e wo hampa
Jacob na me da wasene nsembisa we bisa me Jacob na the fact and say about matters of corruption because mbrini and bibia no e border on enkofo integrity and omo person no mbibia no e sha here with perception tina ye what the friend no whistle blowers I get me nti say hu ade na you only tell police force we na mehu ana me boa nti yemra na kire say until proven guilty you are just suspect ana me boa nti mbibia no e sha here with perception nti say perception ne ba abaya odwene wo manfo ho na wo pese o bo public purse ana Ghana sika ho ban no say starting with perception na we to say perception den ho anamon na wo dey finding the fact and the figures I get me nti mmiri bia na e be sha with perception obi na be ka say mehu wei na ban a odwene Ghana fo ho no we to so anamon na wa pe asem no pu me wodade sebre I get in. Na me nua no kasa no otutu futuro bi gu Ghana for the mercy titifio. The first issue is that oka ono abo atofo se na asem no wo court. Yes say udi kan wo court na undi bimye ana me boa.
Na say me mbo ni for.
No say o bo issues are.
Obisa question na.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Interpret just say udi kan wo court na undi bimye. Nti atofo se na asem no yentimi mfa nya say that's the first one. Two, oka Ford expedition. Ford mini abema Nyankopon ye enim no kware. Emma John Dramani Mahama efi abem. Or the Ford car no e kan the presidential pool.
That's all je.
Or see in the name of the state. How? In the name of the state. Into omufi abem mpo omo ba fresh no. Na the MP for Okere constituency. Na use car no. Say nde on use dia menim. But make match on authority say MPP aban e baaye. Ford and almost John Dramani Mahama GN. Na MP for Okere constituency and na issue. I think Dambochi. Yes, Dambochi and na issue. It is that issue no. Maka please. I mean kasa. Ford or Jeman ho no. anka oko fia se anka so de yeden odiko
see ya chim
I get me
na sa for the last no say you can is it true say what J say what Jin sa demude said ya wo kan no
no tell me because sanka ye ademudie na anka odia that means anka odia ma ne ho nti anka oko fie na anka de be yeden ode be ko I get me but because na oji no oman ni din ntinu e na ode ko no ojama ojaka presidential pool no a mo ba ya adamotwe eyusu I get me into omun sem na NCC so no maka ha che ese etimi titifio. The second point is about say John Mahama foreign court bi aye nhwehwemu o say John Mahama brother ana yeka John Mahama ni brother sem na wo de ba eno na he de ene John Mahama he den nim the fact but one kasa waka say John Mahama brother into who be kan wo ha de he den oti dia mega na say the last one ye Jida sem o kan John Mahama nkasa na ba you see some actually say perception ne ba abayo odwin Ghana fo ho no ebetu asem no dade anamon nti e ba hu no because John Mahama edwin Ghana fo ho no person protecting the public purse no ono nkasa prosecutor no anen krofo and odi Jida fo ko even NSS John Mahama prosecutor no anen krofo oka Bars branding and let me state on authority Bars branding Smarties company no mo ye Bars branding Smarties at the end omo refund an amount of 1.5 million Ghana cedi back to government chest because later omuji to say na ni me bia dey ango so nti ye tu so na mo ma omo refund this scan back to the state nti we kire o mampani ana oku eti akata se hye any proyeso nti ama se wo hwe this Ghana Integrity Initiative reporter miribia omo ye na under corruption John Mahama worst performance and they are buying way on best performance. A child say John Mahama at least corruption ye na ye say yentimi entu asupreko. Ba we are buying e say o ni da ho na otime ku etia. Nti John Mahama eye obon hu modin bia say obekun etia kata hye ne proye. Ba ye mbisa ye ho say under aban way anamo ben na omo etu say that perception na Ghana for ebo omo apprentice who ba say niam esi wa ha no anamo be no motu one yet Ghana ha and Galamsey site Minister of Environment former Minister of Environment and kasabeka kire say I think the Western Regional Deputy chairman and the 500 excavators I did fee Galamsey yes e won ho till date bisa hu sa ban we timi etu so anamo ana ayo mo hu nipo yesi se dem chem efin so enfiase ensuase beka we say bomojichi ewu a onu hwan edi metinye nto mo minister na say 500 excavators no ayo mo kasa omo chairman and afa over 2 to 3 years now e den na mampanya ya afa aside that gold picker yes cars pickups and machines omujiji fi Galamsey yes so up to ne ye hu be bi assign money na afa 500 contaminated fuel ayi na ye nim say moving pina as at that time na only Ghana for air dealing in that contaminated fuel no money licenses to deal in those issues till date sika nke so mu de ema the state kronko no omu entuaye yet your man we mu na 12 million worth of fertilizer e disappear ye bisa won say den na ban no aye afan yet your man we mu na 700 motorbikes 600 tricycle under the Northern Development Authority ejiraye e den na ban na ya afan and you see make me bobo so to the extent I can mention as many as more than 50 of corruption under this government omuntu so anamon ye ntina Jacob na asema ubebisa ne say e den na mampani ni e ya afa ho because enye say ensi o ensi na make kan na esi den na wa ya afa ho the oya ne say e yo no ne appointees ntino se Ghana for mo bo won so bo say omo ye niema enye dia me de meja won because me kana me mo chi won a e na Ghana for beka say e ya mpa say bibi sa eden akoso nti me njai won na nka ban a wo so wa be protect the public purse wo be bo Ghana yen sika ho ba na eni mes ye de ye na Ghana for ho eto won ye de ya akwan ma Ghana for ye de sisi school ama won ADCC hospital emma won na ye bi mpo support ma ye mfango bo enko fem no na sa ban we ba na se wankasa war points fun Ghana ska wia Ghana ska through a lot of corruption issues are
what is good
na dia kamenu na ni say ban ni timi tu so amamo no timi ekeve this whole menace but then oye what you
what say Kofi nsemo kan ya Kofi kan say ye hwe for republic ya kosafema to so nan yemu a aban obetu esi ne bo aka say watumi aboa state agencies e contact katasha no proye no e mampani na nadan kokofo ado na ban ye say aban no modern bo no so chan obia aban bia mampani bia modern bo sase mo kan ye no wona na nya adwene wo
enye true you see the fact say we establish special prosecutors office eno no nkyere say wa ko etia ketache any project ko ni na yenim dia Martin Amidu eka kire yen emra na all your investigation over this government then they were interfering mampeni di nsa ehye ne nyuma mu because na mampeni suro say ono ankasa ne maame nia ho be bonwo report nim eno na nam so a Martin Amidu resign ye into the fact say we establish the office ne nkyere say wa ko etie ketache ne project 2 the fact say Oma police for a soldier for cars akodia no nkyere say wa ko etie ketache ne project because aban bi eniwo in the Fourth Republic wa ba Oma police for cars here aban bi eniwo ma Ghana abenwa no so a Oma police for akodia ye aban bi aye I get me into the fact say Oma on sanjema no enkyere say u siketache any project ase into me assessment say na do dan kwa akufo ado aban ene ye aban a oku etia ketache ne project no enya ne kware because one may you sue the Ghana Integrity Initiative report actually in the year 2012 under John Mahama yenya 45%. In the year 2013 yenya 46%. 2014 48%. 2015 47%. 2016 at John Mahama Afia being one so 43%. John Mahama West grade 46% and 43% in 2016. Aban we eba 2017 ono moko down 40%. 2018 ono moko down 41%. 2019 ono moko down. It is fact and figures in any. It is ye pa aban a wetimi akwoti akatasehye ne proye no person tu asia. John Dramani Mahama aban. See mikita the Afro Barometer of CDD, Ghana Center for Development for Democratic Development. Almost some report expressing who compare John Dramani Mahama Aban, ebesi Aban we are. Aban we near the West in terms of Abaya. Opeso Kutie Ketatishani project. Okay. Into share all the documentation and favor Aban we. Okay. Into say who beside say in some baby omuka wo position ni na no. Omu ba ye 5 years. Eden no motimi aye. Okay. Omuka say me de manu sinu. Omuka say John Dramani Mahama. E de 10 million e go print presidential diary. 5 years then no motimi aye afa ho. Omuka say John Mahama e inflate kaswa interchange contract. Omu ba ye no ma ya afa ho. Omuka say John Mahama ato dan wo Dubai. Omu ba ye 5 years. Won't me improve a single structure John Mahama ato wo Dubai. We ni abanya. Omu si yenji omu.
Medase Kofi ya kan nyina na Ghana fonti na mo no sika ne nyamo dia anya dis for dia anya pipi for dia Ghana for dia na so eba mo mienu no party saudo mienu yi na motaka ho asem pa anti ya we chiri no so te se asema krofo kan ya enokore enya nokore si etietie nsem se ya e politu ye mebunum a ye ni party potense bia ye nya into politics ni politu adwene anso obi ofie obi obabi hwe se and for discount. Unim say na mo kan mo discount say be do baby a ensemi was amoka ye nyimu ni bio esan say asamonoka moka na say to be no mamon so ade esa mo ye me hunu say because per the amoka opposition I find this ho ene mo ba ye the amoye no ensunsun kese na dem ye fa mo serious.
I think say you did for our crime be so, and the OYE clearly supports the Wokano. Yaba, Yakikano, Way Abokrono, he was mentioning those things, which I find that to be very dangerous. because ochina no ye kan kura na Ghana for GNDBO nti obehu anamo ntu a wo se Shraj etuo Ghana Statistical Service etuo na mo ba Ghana for no mbedi nkomo no obo NCP enam kasa bia yenya akonya se bia yeka. I won't go into his direction because that's not my focus, that's not my goal. When it comes to this equalization, I can also mention even the former president, the founder of your party, accusing your party of being corrupt individuals, his wife, one time a very active member of your party. I can mention even the Speaker of Parliament now, accusing his own party people of being corrupt. I don't want to go into that tangent. Moving forward, as a people, and I believe that government has a responsibility, and government responsibility is to enact laws, is to establish institutions, real to them. Give omodia kandia be mom no ma ye juma e sene fata, so that at the end of the day we can fight corruption. And I believe largely, strongly, say Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, what government needs to do in terms of provision of policies, any platforms are about reduce corruption, no. Or the form. Or can say he never even mentioned any policy enactment or any actual platform or creating. In fact, about me are fighting corruption. In fact, I did you a favor by mentioning the Public Financial Management Act more inactive by we came to implement it. You couldn't even mention it because that is not your goal. And I believe, sir, a question no dovetail into the dangerous nature of our communication and politics. Listen. Corruption is across board, regardless of which political party is in power. And I believe that in this time and in this moment, as a result of the cascading effect of COVID, we need to fight corruption head on. We need to be frontal about corruption, regardless of whoever else is on the axe or someone can say. So for me, and I'm on tour. Shraj ebetuono ehun hia so that we can move away from perception. Because some perception, the galamsey issue that you mentioned, perception. And I'm on tour to retrieve the excavators and the right things have been done. Just because steps now are taken doesn't yield to your benefits, on can steps as well. You mentioned the fact that when perception do occur, the president doesn't take steps. Then you forget to mention, when Boakye Jakun was vetted and your people accused him of being corrupt, the government of the day, Parliament, we were an overwhelming majority. We allowed a bipartisan investigation into it to establish the allegation, say true and otherwise. When Okujato and the rest accused the trade minister and the office of the president, say Omo cash for seats, there was a bipartisan approach to ensure say yebehu adiani ni puma sibre. When appointees of government, Honorable Asenso Boakye, Honorable Abu Jinapor, were accused by an individual at the time when I was there, 16th of August 2007, ewo bia ba bia se of phone etutu e kan kwase asem sebi eni di mwani a obrasimo. The president make sure that these two individuals will report to the police every single day. Probably you are not aware of it. Abu and Asenso Honorables were reporting to the CID almost every week. And then the ref, so you sit here and talk about the fact, listen, the fight against corruption, a structure. Because their fight against corruption, a structures. They make sure they put the structures in place because human beings,
yes, I saw any structures as one when you
oh, and then you say, Mukinani, for Froso count.
Oh, so you're kind, and there's a way you say, and then she more than you correct, and there's a way you say, and then she more than you correct, and I was you say, you show one correct. It's no way you say you correct, where you say you correct, one way or by more, or so the Kafam and Crawford and you correct, if you are by more, then uncle will be, sir, and you know. Because as I say, a Jim
for the purpose of educating the people, I think that any fair to say we were more say be on two and more be affected. He mentioned, and I support. In the case of Air National Service Secretariat and National Service, it was an issue that happened within the Mahama administration. He took steps, prosecuted people. Jida, for example, they prosecuted Asipit and Abu Gapele. Yeah, by na judgment no to us by. So I think say it won't be fair. In the case of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, perception of corruption, allegations of corruption, no attempts have been made. In the issue of even a Japan, when a risk assessment was made without even facts. Okay, so no, hold on. Let's do further consultations and ensure say the Martinami do can say that is what we do as a government. What I say. When you talk about the punitive measures, where you can't say be a corrupt, you're taking steps in terms of a legal way. You did not cross MDBA, you total no, I'm a who say no, therefore we have taken that steps and ensure say 3 people under your administration, Don Dramani Mahama's administration, National Communications Authority, have been in prison. We are talking about people who admitted, said they were wrong. For that matter, they will return ASICA or more no, to government. It's a fact. So, Openi, the nuclear war and commodity women say, Opio, and among 2 or say a band be a 2, and then she say be also a band be diba. Said the Bayer Yebeko Etia Katasisheno, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I am convinced and convicted, say, or the group so. That does not mean, say, no. Moving forward, we will do more. But we as a people also have a responsibility because it's not only politicians that are corrupt. In fact, even when you go to the churches, there are corrupt people there. Oko civil service owner, there are corrupt people there. If you go to the court or judiciary, there are corrupt people there. Oko parliamentar. So yensom adwuma the person man no sabi etu pon ekonanim a katasise embeye ade a ha yen dia yenya yenjintum say for that matter we will do better. Me box and from my politicians.
Me that's it. Person when I am working in man akobasa and say technocrats no na so mwanka na akobasa bia woman na ho na mo amu twitwa de gichire mo ho asa ne atoje mo a mahama you from serious because technocrats no you so many this kind of power someone who said technocrats need this kind of power. Why don't you fight the technocrats mo nchi wo mo from mo afiase say I political figures no kwa na bibia mo ya mo sa
Jacob na
yes sir
unse me nua bo not try to be refer to former President Rawlings and in same be okikai Obekai in Semana, Honorable Martin Amidu. Now, I can't find John Dramani Mahama. But I could do vetting committee, you be sad then, okay. Also, new
I say a perception now, what can I say? Quoting right. Also, need evidence be I say a perception, quoting right. Don't say
only evidence be
quoting right.
In Semana, former President Rawlings, now just accusation. When the men in Abia are established, but me person, Mekohonum. Onangasa Jack Musi the Public Financial Management Act ebaye. But you see some person what you say. Jacob na enya about say all the policies eba. Maybe I make say Ghana ye cap policies, ye cap programs are. Ghana ye wo pa.
No, it's about them.
It's about the political will.
Which is
say political parties no. Benya the will say ye be fight it head on even to the extent say ya ban mu ni pampo na that government no bet me take the
but give me examples
please if you mama examples of their John Dramani Mahama here onu so how do you lead to that fact
I'll give you examples
into material their John Dramani Mahama here asamba ko meji tum na meji na so dia continue so say we should fight corruption head on. I agree with him and nothing na meji na we feed the kese we so Akacha Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo say
His Excellency President.
No problem. His Excellency John Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Akacha say 2.5 million the Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmood Bawumia say Ghana Post GPS na ye wadada o ma contract o mo ko say just the interface no onto so anamon.
No,
please Ghana Post. So see or quote yakata ne proya by now can say you investigating the Vice President. Say open say fighting corruption head on a married deal. The whole president signed document that I did 800 million account and no sign your okinkan. But for the minority and Kaban we under the president we are Ghana 800 million. Yes, because sign here no sign document no into a minority hu na ke pass ya na nka o mafa epumanechi no makoji dia na omode atoso no into so person okuti a on fight that thing no. The next thing is opposite fight corruption head on the contaminated fuel moving pina up to date sika so mo refund the state of Ghana no omo refund here 5 years on abani ntimi ntu so na monye nti sabaya ntu so na monye no what social person fight corruption on me sam Edin Krama na do bank akufado his excellency say so of fight corruption on PPA don't call me where is the man omo jano no ko
how
Oton man
open your jana how many years na stake
me no ka say
I didn't even know
me say man ye gina ha onyina court
okay
nso ni na ye hu na Oton contractor mo no ani company the American say so person put etia kresha proya former NLA boss Kofi say ameyaw ejina ni nine so e ma by 11 contract man in law up to date ye ntimi investigate ye are you getting me and no say na ye ka conflict of interest
okay
intinu so we are buying a real person fight tia kresha proya yes so ye ni say who shall see fi wa ban mu you John Dramani Mahama this government is the most corrupt government in the history of this country.
Ayaba Mahama NDC communication team member and Frederick Kofi Ameyaw wono so agina homa NPP fo no me de bia na meka se mususu se obi adisika mpa anya no ade beka no woni ade tumi na ma ho chinipa na man namne se wa kira mana dem no se dia wo kan no aye no kore anya ne kan keke entini ye pe action ye pe oyo anya ose madam asese munya bereba ye medin de agya kwabena ye da sedama special eyes any do so so kase yase o kase boy mu me ne agye wakọ de kase bo ne bra mu ye onyankopon ya adoma ye basa ne mu ahia e da mu nyina ase e mam de yi